Greetings, definition buffs, and welcome to another exciting edition of Definitions with your host, DefinitionMan. Today's definition is racism. I'll get right to that. Racism. The belief that races have distinctive cultural characteristics determined by hereditary factors, and that this endows some races with an intrinsic superiority over others. The second definition is abusive or aggressive behavior towards members of another race on the basis of such a belief. I'm going to delve a little bit into racism. Fortunately, most of this culture, most of the culture in the U.S. these days, from my perspective, from what I've personally seen, is not racist anymore. There's still some lingering pockets of racism here or there, and the KKK is still up and running in certain areas. And I just picked my nose there. I took it out of view, but I just want to let you know what you missed out on. And there's still a few things going on. There's still some animosity towards other cultures that are coming into the American culture, or that just a little bit of prejudice here and there. I see that, but I don't necessarily see racism. And that's good. That's definitely good. It could get better, of course. It could always get better. Improvement is always a good thing, and it is always there to have, no matter how good a society is. But also, today, pretty much the entire scientific community agrees with itself that that there is no distinct difference in mental capacity between races. That we don't. It's not like different breeds of dog where we're all essentially the same species of dog, but different breeds have different personalities. That's not the case with us. In fact, you talk to a geneticist will tell you right up, there is almost no difference between you and the guy sitting next to you, or the guy across the room from you, or the guy who lives next door, no matter what they may look like. There's a few differences here and there, such as some differences that are hereditary, that are in the genes, such as skin pigmentation and muscle and bone orientation and that kind of thing. And even some races are less tolerant to lactose than other races. These are very minuscule, and they don't have anything to do with that long, neural network, that spinal column that we have that ended up throwing this up one day. Because a geneticist will tell you that we are the product, modern day man is a product of a process called bottlenecking, which basically means that due to environmental stresses, about roughly 70,000 years ago, all of mankind was reduced to 6,000 members in a very small area, and anybody else living anywhere else in the world had died off. So when that happened, genetic variation within mankind that may have possibly caused things such as differences in mental capacity, differences in the way people think, was pretty much eliminated. You're pretty closely related to anybody else. And pretty much all mankind from there basically spawned out of that. In fact, a chimpanzee is more, it has a more genetic, girth compared to the other members of this family than we do, 3 times as much genetic variation there. We hardly have any whatsoever. So you're pretty much, you look at somebody of another race and you really can't call him brother. So that's what I have to say about that. So racism is not only as accepted and tolerated as it used to be, but it's also been debunked by science. So good news for everybody. So yeah, which is a nice change of pace to hear that, because whenever somebody talks about racism, they usually talk about negative hurdles that we have to overcome. And here, at least there's somebody talking about possibly, a little bit of a hurdle that we have overcome. So based on evidence. So take that, Hitler. All right, so that's our edition of definitions for today. Good morning, good evening, and good night.